The next story I have is also from Dave DeCamp at antiwar.com. Ukraine plans new Black Sea bases as U.S. and NATO step up presence in the region. And so we have U.S. warships drilling in the Black Sea. I think there's actually 3 warships in the Black Sea right now. But the most probably provocative thing going on is Ukraine's plan to build 2 naval bases, one in the Black Sea and then one on the Sea of Azov. So for people not watching the video, it's probably might be hard to picture the Black Sea in your mind, but is the body of water north of Turkey. There's kind of a I don't know, a potato shape-ish. It borders Russia, Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, and then, as I said, Turkey and Georgia. And the Crimean Peninsula jets out into it, and then the Crimean Peninsula meeting with the Russian landmass forms then the Sea of Azov, which is a smaller body of water north of the Black Sea. And so the Ukraine coastline on the Black Sea, building a naval base there, I'm not sure how provocative that will be towards NATO, but they did announce the plans for the new bases at the NATO headquarters. And so I'm sure that's probably the most threatening part of this to Russia, is that this is occurring at the NATO headquarters. And if this is just a Ukrainian naval base, that's one thing. But if it's a combined project with NATO, or it's to help facilitate NATO, interference and involvement in the Black Sea, well, that's something Russia doesn't want, because, the Black Sea is off the Russian coast, kind of like the U.S. would probably be opposed to Mexico announcing that they're going to build a naval base in the Gulf of Mexico, right on next to the coast with Texas, in Moscow. That would seem a hell of a lot more productive, provocative, that they just announced that in Mexico. Now, the Sea of Azov is a lot more complicated. Prior to 2014, the Crimean Peninsula was owned by Ukraine. However, the U.S. orchestrated a coup there, and in reaction to that coup and the fact that the coup government was going to kick Russia out of their naval base on the Crimean Peninsula, and that the people of Crimea saw themselves as more Russian than Ukrainian, and the new Ukrainian government was very nationalist and very right-wing. They broke away. Russia reabsorbed Crimea, and so now when you look at the Sea of Azov, both of the gates to the Sea of Azov are actually controlled by Russia. So if Ukraine builds a naval base there, and they're bringing warships in and out of the Sea of Azov from the Black Sea to the Sea of Azov, we've seen in the past that this caused a confrontation with Russia, and there was a lot of fear mongering and claim that the U.S. needs to get involved and confront Russia in the Sea of Azov, which is pretty close to a Russian lake. If anybody wants to look at the map on it, it is a potential flashpoint. So it's pretty concerning that they're building these naval bases. It'll definitely be something we have to keep our eye on.